remix right there is one of my favorite of yours ever.
Interesting fact, that is not a remix.
It's not.
No, the one with Cameron on it was the remix. And in fact, that song was first Reese and Bigelow's out of Mississippi. So I'm going to say that and give them that acknowledgement.
Wow.
And the version that you're hearing is essentially the version that was made in Atlanta for Atlanta when Dan, out of the West Side, was behind Bone Crusher with Break 'Em Off Records. Shouts out to Dan and Break 'Em Off Records.
Dan, what's up, Dan?
The original version that wasn't purely independent out of Mississippi was the Bone Crusher, me and Tip version. It was out of Atlanta. But the Primus was the one that was done with Reese and Bigelow out of Mississippi, and then later on, of course, you have the version that you think is the original one.
I don't think anyway. I just said I love your verse on it.
Yeah, definitely, but it wasn't a remix though. That's what started all this, and I'm proud that me and Tip knew that we weren't crunk artists, but we knew we were in the middle of a movement, so we knew this song was special. Like I remember when Crusher said, "Man, I know who I'm gonna put on it," and I said, "Who?" And he said, "I'm gonna surprise you," because he already knew like I was a fan and a friend with Tip. So when he came out with Tip on him, I lost my mind. I was just like, "Oh yeah, we in the bounce, man!" Immediately.
That's crazy, man. Well, happy birthday, man. You know, 420 was actually your birthday, so happy belated birthday.
Thank you. That's kind of what I'm doing right now, too.
Yeah. I mean, how amazing is that, though, to actually have your birthday on the Weed National Holiday?
Well, every day is a holiday. Like that meme of the old man going around. I don't give a fuck what them white folks tell me. Like, it's cool to be born on 420 and that be considered that. But I said in one of my original freestyles, Bad Day Workers Day, they said, me and Hitler got the same damn birthday. That cracker dead. That's my goddamn birthday. Go shorty. So
it's
420 my day. Yeah, I don't give a fuck who else born. And I'm gonna smoke pot every day. But I'm really happy that in my lifetime I've seen marijuana go from something very taboo. And my mother was a smoker. I didn't smoke. Like I did the typical shit, tried in 7th grade bathroom with the homies. Like I'm not into it. And then in high school when everybody was smoking me, and I was like, when Snoop and shit was out, but in Redman, I still didn't smoke, but because I sold weed too, so I ain't gonna smoke what I sell. But when Big Boy, he got some from Talib Shabazz.
You talking about Earwax?
Yes, Talib from Earwax gave him some orange drug, and that shit looks beautiful. That shit, we were so smoked out when his aunt came down to get us to come upstairs for his mom's birthday and say happy birthday. I was too fucked up to even move. It took me a minute to get out the chair. And after I smoked with Twan, I went from, kids selling, bullshit mid to college kids to trying to make it to all of a sudden, like, man, I'm smoking the best marijuana in the world. I'm never going below this. So until I just
history fun fact was
shouts out to Twan for giving me a fucking hundreds of $1,000s a year habit, I'm sure.
One time to Jazz and Talib and everybody from the legendary Earwax, man, that was a staple in the A back in the day.
Absolutely, man. Shouts out to Randall too from the old show with over at Georgia State. Man, it's a lot of people who's back that this hip hop thing that has been built on, including always to appreciate you.
You said including what now? You broke up on that one.
Your own, including you, what you've given to the city culture.
Thank you.
Give your roses while you're here.
I appreciate that, brother. I'm going to give you roses all show long. But I want to start here, man. Your debut on Snapping and Trapping, man, on the infamous Stankonia album, man, I think that was the first real introduction. And then, obviously, y'all went on to win that Grammy for the whole world, which I started the show out today with. How was that being a part of the Dungeon family in that awe?
It's a dream. It's an absolute dream. Like, to be a part of, associated with the Dungeon family in any way is a dream. You talking about just premiere in terms of music with them being mentored as organized by Curtis and them mentoring and bringing into fruition the Outcasts, the Goody Mobs, the Cool Breeze, the Witch Doctors. Like, to be of that lineage is of high honor. So that's something, man, I'm blessed. To be in it at its height, at its pinnacle, was a very interesting place to be because you're seeing something that's the result of years of work. So you get to see the promised land before you get to walk out of Egypt and through the water and through the wilderness for 40 years. And my career was like that. I saw the promised land. I was there and I experienced it. And then I went through a period of my career through independence, through people like Tip, associated me with Grand Hustle, thank God, and which gave me an opportunity when I was ready to put myself back on a bigger platform with Grind Time Records, which I built. Man, the beauty of that thing was I had seen the Promised Land, so when I did rap music with LP and we formed Run the Jewels, I know this place. I've been here. Wow, this is exactly where I was with Outkast at this album, and I better navigated and became a better thinker, rapper, businessman, rhyme partner. So it was a blessing to see the Promised Land.
But it was awesome to see your growth too, because we got pictures, man, 20 years ago it feels like, and I was looking at one the other day. It was me, you, Winston Marsalis,
and Andy Young. Andy Young. It was the thing honoring Andy, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when I look at that though, I really know when you were with Dungeon Family, and then when you were with Grand Hustle, and then obviously being an entrepreneur and what you're doing with Run the Jewels. How is it being the LeBron of rap? Because I feel like you've been able to exist on teams, and you're still your own, you know what I'm saying, superhero.
Yeah, man. First of all, shouts out to LeBron, man. Rest in peace to Mamba, man. Hey, man, and that Jordan, thank you for the inspiration. Yeah. And I just, as a basketball fan, go Hawks, Trey Young, shout out to my boy. I've been blessed with the opportunity to be me the whole way through. And that has not come without some times on the whipping post. Yeah. So as high honor as it is to be, it's not been an easy road for nobody's fault but my own. Yeah. The good and the bad.
Trial and error.
Absolutely. And trying again. And so I'm so happy to have been ushered into the game by Outkast and mentored by Big and Dre, to be mentored by my friend, equal and partner Tip, to be encouraged by my crew, Grind Time, to push forward. I've been blessed, man. So I take it all. It's interesting. I'm wake up a lot of days surprised I'm here, so I don't start working hard,
Yeah, no, but that's real. And I don't think a lot of the entrepreneurs and creatives, man, that follow their dreams, I think they stop because of the hard days. And really, for true creatives and people that are really inspired, those are the days you strap up. I mean, I'm even looking at, what's going on with the pandemic. I would have never gone to IG Live with the Kenny Burns show if I wasn't forced to sit down. And now I have networks trying to do deals. It's you don't know, but if you don't put one foot in front of the other, you'll never know.
Yeah, you just got out, man. I was just telling my oldest son that last night. Don't want to be a producer. Just be a producer. The first stuff you produce, you're not going to like. But I promise you, when you do, you're going to know you produced. You're either doing or not doing. You know what I'm saying? That's just simple as that.
Yeah. I love that. And how's the family, by the way? I don't even know why.
They're good. My wife threw me a surprise online party, which was
I saw it.
It was amazing, man. All the people who tapped in, and even the people who got a lot better stuff to do, who still waited and couldn't tap in. I thank you guys, man. You know what I mean? I was singing. At one point, I was so stoned. I wasn't even drunk at that point. I was just stoned singing If I Was Your Girlfriend to my wife. And Shaq was like, Negro, answer the phone. And I'm like, hold on. You know what I mean? I'm singing to my wife. You know,
You was in it.
Anybody who knows me and knows my love of Shay knows, very few people. Bernie Sanders hit me, and I was like, I got to go. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon, but we got a party start. Nina Turner, oh, my God, I apologize. I'm talking to a senator like, I'm motherfucking stoned. But,
right. But that's the beauty. Listen, I tell my mentees all the time, if you're yourself long enough, they're going to pay you to be you. They're going to want you around. Yeah. They're going to want your opinion and perspective because you believe nothing other than what you believe.
Absolutely. I am who I am. I get that from my grandfather. Shouts out to Willie Burke. You get me, but I'm here, and I'm here with the best of intentions. I'm probably going to smoke weed and say fuck in front of a child at any point, not even my children, but shit's going on, man. It's fucked up, and sometimes you got to take a stoke and say, hey, it's fucked up what they're doing. Who was a former cop told me, he said, hey, man, there's no disrespectful way to say yes, sir, or no, man. So I don't give a shit how you feel when the police encounter you. Your first objective is to say yes, sir, and no, sir. Yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. I don't care how you feel. And I can remember, man, I can remember having to have those exchanges, and just that alone I looked at it as a kid, of course, like, I'm submitting, and you damn right, because there's an authority in my face that can decide if I live or die, get home.
Right now.
And I have to use this. I have to use this to control this situation. Yeah. I have that option. And it empowered me once I thought about it, because I started using it more in school. I might not agree with the teacher. I know this teacher can flunk the shit out of me. Yes, ma'am, Miss Ellison. Interestingly enough, she was the woman who taught me civics and taught me economics and was brutal on me. But because I had to humble myself to her, I just shut the fuck up and learned.
Listen, and sometimes I tell people all the time, shut the fuck up. You might know the answer.
Yeah, but shut the fuck up, man.
Just shut the fuck up. And I wanna say this about you, Mike, and I've told you many a times how necessary you are and important you are to the culture. I think every time we see each other, we exchange pleasantries like that. Absolutely, but I believe it, and I want to be one that instills that into that frontal lobe every time I see you. But your lyrics are so thoughtful when you rap. It was evident you were an activist, whether you meant to be or not. So it was almost appropriate. I know you come from family of strong individuals. You just mentioned your grandfather, but was the art the inspiration for the activism?
No. I've been an organizer since I was 15 years old. Rest in peace to Reverend James Orange. Google him. He was an SCLC organizer and one of King's right-hand men. And a woman named Alice Johnson, who was a white woman, raised Catholic out of Chicago, northern Chicago, that when a teenager would go out to south side Chicago and tutor against the will of her dad, she bucked her dad because she so believed in the principles of what the church told her. And later on, when, leaving the church, she went on to organize around black and brown lung stuff, I think up in West Virginia. And she ended up in Andy's administration in Atlanta. I organized with her, with the group. We agitated around police violence by the martyr cops at the time, and some of my homies who remember was the Gangster Disciples and the Crips. And the homies and I, and a bunch of other kids from Atlanta that weren't necessarily, tougher street kids, but just good kids, we formed a group when I was like 15 years old. That group and a group called Black Teens for Advancement that was started by a former city council person, Kwanzaa Hall, when he was in high school, and left it to us young homies. Wow. And because of that, I was already organizing. But even my grandmother kept me involved in political campaigns. So I've never not been organizing, and now I'm not an organizer. I'm a mobilizer, because if you look at Dr. King, at one point, his campaign became so big that he could mobilize a bunch of people, but the actual ground organizers, to me, are the people like what Stokely Carmichael was at the time when he was a young student. There are people in the city of Atlanta that can put 500 people in a place, 1,000 people in a place, 50 or 100 people in place at one time. And my job now is to help them mobilize and magnify their message. So I'm more of a mobilizer than an organizer now. And I learn and take information from organizers like Next Level Boys Academy, Gary over there, like the Paul Kids Network next to Bankhead Seafood. These people are on the ground doing the work. There are times that they need me. Puffy hits me like, I want to help do something. You can help get in this room with 200 boys virtually. You can talk. Puff's like, I'll do it. Let's get it. So we got to get Kenny Burns on something like that too. We got to bring help to organizations that are feeding our kids and during this pandemic, pre and post, like Paul Kids. So I've magnified and mobilized now. But yeah, I was an organizer over 25 years of my life, which is why I don't bag down like a chump when I hear some bullshit,
Yeah. No, listen, man, your stance is evident and necessary. It's funny because, you do things all the time in the community, things you promote, things you don't promote. I mean, I obviously, whenever you throw something up and there's a donation or whatever, I'm in. I don't go back and promote it. But my thing is, like, that's what the community needs more. And I love the mobilization part, because I just feel like, man, organizing is one thing. You get people in the room, then what? And the mobilization in what you're speaking of is actual fucking doing, man. It's like, in Atlanta's a great community of brotherhood and sisterhood on some levels, right? Yeah. But we probably have the most power in the world as far as our access and our ability. And I just sometimes get so frustrated because you see these false prophets, they're out here saying this, but there's no real action. Like you and Tip, y'all just bought Bankhead Seafood. Like y'all are putting shit in the hood where people grew up and like change. And I said this on a couple episodes ago to Kenny Burns. I was like, I said, if I had $2 billion, if I had $4 billion, do you know I would give away $2 billion to strengthen historically black colleges and universities, just so education, because clearly we have to think forward We can do things now that will start the conversation, but education seemingly being the most important, we put that in the black college. Who wouldn't want to go to a college with the best gym and state-of-the-art equipment if you are Zion going to Duke instead of going to fucking Morehouse? But I guess I want to know your perspective on people that, do these promotions, but there's no fucking action.
Yeah, I think that if we all do a little, no one has to do a lot. And
that was so mature. That is so thoughtful.
Because I've had to think about it. I've been an organizer for over 25 years, so I've seen it happen a bunch of different ways. I've seen people with good intentions make huge promises based on what they think could happen, and when those promises don't happen, they fizzle. Embarrassment runs them away. I've seen people who were purely false prophets and snake oil sellers, and I've seen them use and abuse people till the people get angry and apathetic, and they no longer participate. I've seen us idolize our successful people and then cannibalize them when they don't move as though we think we should move. Perfect example. I talked to a guy who's just worth $30 million, right?
Right.
He put $3.5 million into helping our community. If he does that 10 times, and we're going to need it 10 times, he has lost his fortune. There is no fortune for him. So part of his individual thinking has to be, I have to protect what I have earned to take care of my grandchildren. And at the same time, if I can put up $3-5 million as a community, there are 1 million of us that actively have $10 a month. There are 1 million black people in this country that fuck off $2.50 a week. There is, right? If 1 million of us simply just gave $10 to one account every month, and this is not an account to keep 100 people working, this is not an account that's trying to compete with the United Negro College Fund. All we simply do with this is take care of the old that are out of the revolution that have already helped us. So Rosa Parks should not have had to have her rent paid by Papa John's owner, even though not Papa John's, by Little Caesar's owner. Now I want people to be clear. Little Caesar, I fought Papa John's again because of Shaq, but Little Caesar's owner, who's a white man, took care of her rent. That should have come out of a $120 million trust that we feed $10 million a month, where Rosa should know she's okay. When Tulu Shakur should always have money on his books. The 8 that have gotten out, the former BLA members and parents that are getting out, should get out with a home here or Ghana, right? We had a potential to do this. 1 million of us could do this. 1 million of us could register as an education, break up into parts of states. 54% of us live in the South. So I'm solutionary based. We just have to get in the room, leave our egos outside the room, and just figure out a solution. So first and easiest solution should be, and I would like a woman like Kathy Hughes from Radio 1 is a brilliant woman. I've had the blessing to have a conversation with her. She actually gave me this idea, and I said, well, I'm going to take this as a challenge and a charge.
So what are we doing, Mike?
And this is what I think what we're doing first.
What is it? I want to be a part of it.
What I think we should and could do first is to start a 1 million person organization or of donators who donate $10 a month, and it is specifically to take care of our old and our fighters that have come before us. It's to take care of our entertainers who have stepped off the entertainment podium to challenge authority on our behalf. It is to take care of the freedom fighters that are getting out of jail that need that as an opportunity. It is to take care of public defenders for those that are fighting for our rights right now that catch BS charges. And it's doing that. And what we learned from that is a structure and an organization that's not going to promise you. I'm not promising you. I'm not asking you for money for myself or personally. We're simply saying we can use $10 a month to take care of ourselves. I then say we target 2 or 3 black banks, and we're saying we're going to bring you this much business, both for loans and for accounts. What can we get on the other side that's specifically black business oriented so that we can start to fund some of the things that we need to fund? What are working class black people spending on a weekly basis? And how can we target those businesses? And, it's no disrespect to anybody in any other culture, but if every gas station in your community was black owned, you'd have a radically different economy in your community. So you're going to have to start to say to yourself, what are we going to target? Like when people quote Dr. Amos Wilson or when they quote Dr. John Henrik Clark and they say stuff like, well, black people have no friends or we don't have any. Oh, that's true. Everyone is using Africa to their own advantage. But Bobby Seale said we're not outnumbered, we're out organized. If we organize our dollars, if black people say, man, we're only going to buy Citgo gas because Citgo has allowed 35% of the gas stations to be owned by blacks. If we go to Citgo and say, we want to own these many Citgos, You can only put them in my neighborhoods here up and down the East Coast, and we'll go to you almost exclusively. You will immediately start crazy things happen.
Right.
You will immediately start. So, but I can't say this is mandated. This was a form of administrative
community of
for long.
Now, I know that we are using the platform to get some shit done.
Absolutely. And all I had to do was call Kenny.
God damn it. No, but I'm serious, man. The Kathy Hughes relationship, with the Radio 1 and the opportunity with TV 1 to just double down on the messaging, that's free advertising.
All of us do a little. If all of us do a little,
and we'll go to our corporate, we'll go to our corporate clients and partners, and these franchises we have ownership in and things like that, and go get Wingstop and all these people to get active with some dollars. And I'm gonna say this: you've been extremely, vocal about social equality, police brutality, and systemic racism, right? And what you just said puts us in the driver's seat of all of that.
Yeah.
It gives us financial freedom. And the thing about what people don't understand, Mike, is that little idea could be the biggest thing. You know how many black people there are in the world?
Yeah.
If they donated $10 a month to something that they knew fought for them.
Yes.
I'm inspired, bro.
And before fights for them, because we already have great organizations. We have Know Your Rights with Colin doing that. We have for voter suppression, Stacey's org. It's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is an organization that specifically is for us to all do a little so we don't have to do a lot, to first take care of our own.
No, fact.
No, I just want people on the other side. So the first job of this is to take care of our elders and to honor them. There should be no empty book for any political prisoner. There should be food, clothing, and shelter for everyone who has given their time on, right? So we have to do that. Then we start to grow the ideas as to what is the next. We know that on the west side of Atlanta, there has been a trove of people that head off and their houses are empty. We get demolition houses and gardens built for the community so that now it can feed the street that it's on. This is when we start to know, first you take care of your elders, you make sure your mama room right, she cool, you tell your smoking ass cousins go out front or go in the back, but mama's in this house, so we're taking care of that. And this is when we start getting our shit together. So we're taking care of our elders, we're taking care of our freedom fighters behind the door. And what are you doing? It's just $10, you still living your life, but now we open to the ideas of what's next. Well, what's next?
Listen, Mike, let's go. That is mandatory. No. I have my relationship. Whatever I am 1,000,000% in, bro. This has to happen
for the people. And all we need is a million. It's 44 million black people in this country. We're 15% of the population and a million.
We got a million. We have a million people in Atlanta that should fucking sign up.
Yeah. Just $10 a month. $10. That's $10 million a month, $120 a year. For if all of us do a little, no one has to do a lot.
I love it. Love your mind. So I also want to bring this up, man. You often affectionately refer to white people as allies.
No.
I want to. Okay, well, let me finish.
No, not white people. The white people that are allies, I refer to as allies.
Okay. Well, yes. I guess let me rephrase the question. The white people that you refer to as allies.
Yes.
Are you referring to white people that obviously, and I was getting to that obviously support black people and causes? And how do you refer to whites that don't?
Well, people are just people, right? But an ally, be you black, white, whether you're East Indian like Malcolm's ally was, are people who have a shared interest for a particular cause, usually for something to gain for both of them.
Right.
So I have literal allies in that the organization here affects my organization or has the same enemy as my organization there. We can unite and have better numbers and fight on our behalf. Right. So in the ally sense, I mean in a very literal ally. Bernie Sanders' campaign is a campaign that allied with the thoughts and principles of the Dr. King's Poor People campaign.
Right.
Therefore, that was an allied policy in terms of what I think is just for us.
So Bernie Sanders is an ally?
Bernie Sanders is an ally. Now, Bernie Sanders is a personal friend to Mike. but he's an ally to Michael's political gains and aspirations.
Okay, so you're not a racist in the statement. You're just saying there are white people that are allies, like there are black people that are allies, that are Indian people that are allies.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a racist anyway, because the concept of race is a 500-year-old concept invented by Europeans in order to suppress people who look like me, and in particular Semitic people. So I don't own it. Yeah, that racism shit, go study harder, because that's just not something you could throw on me. Exactly. Then you have co-conspirators. And in a co-conspirator, you have someone who's willing, it's like Cool Hand Luke or something. When you bonded, y'all chained in together, y'all got to run together, or whatever that old movie was. So I have to have someone that's deeper than an ally, that's a co-conspirator with me, right, in this campaign to progress my particular agenda. And we can be allied, but we're co-conspiratorial in that you're willing to share the whipping post with me should this get caught. And that's another level. And that's another level.
You better talk that shit.
You have comrades. And that's we in this together knee deep. And we already know that. And it's probably not going.
Tell me some of your comrades, Mike. I got to know.
Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you, let's get past that and just get to the brothers. When you talk about someone like John Brown, someone who sacrificed his blood and his children's blood because he so believed in the principles of a revolutionary concept that we call Christianity. He believed the part in all of us being created equal, and Jesus being the redeemer of us also, it being against God to enslave another human being.
That's right.
And that's what we need more of. The human race of brotherhood and sisterhood. That's what I'm telling you right now, that if you white and you think you've done enough, you haven't. And if you black and you think that you sacrificed more than a generation before you, you haven't. We owe it to one another to look in the mirror and understand ourselves, and then to try to understand each other. Dick Gregory, one of the greatest African minds to ever grace this earth, to the day he died, gave praise and respect to Hugh Hefner, a white slick pornographer, because he gave Dick the ability to be fair and equal by letting him play in his clubs. Now, you might not understand that friendship, but that's not for you to understand.
That's what I was saying about Omarosa and Trump.
Yeah. It's not up for me to understand that friendship, because I think Hugh Hefner and Larry Flint and Luther Campbell are visionaries. And I look at them as revolutionary as Dick Gregory. But I know what Dick Gregory did for black people. I know the career he sacrificed. So what I'm saying is, if you truly free black people, if you think yourself free, then understand that once you reach full freedom, you're not afraid to ally with anybody, because you understand an ally could betray you, so you always watch them. You're not afraid to co-conspirate with somebody because you've thought it all the way out, and you understand when you have a brother in front and with someone who's going to go there. You understand that. So that's all I'm saying. That's what happens when you're really free. But
I can appreciate you more every time we speak and we converse and we tell stories, because the polishing of your mental, you know what I'm saying, like the polishing of the information you gathered over all these years, the presentation of that, brother, is just, it's on another level. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's militant at times, it's necessary, but it's also thoughtful more than ever. Like this, the way that you are connecting the dots now, like you said, you've been doing community activism for 20-something years. So at the end of the day, you're more conscious of the words, because you got to get somewhere with it. You can't just fly off the handle and go nuts.
Absolutely. Well, the purpose is freedom, man. Yeah, and if the quicker we all get there, oh man, the more beautiful place we can be in. People think, you look at those dumbass kids in Carrollton, the How to Make a Nigger kids, right? Just you look at that and you say, on one hand you're saying you're canceling them, and on the other hand they're saying, at first, we sorry, the fake boyfriend made me do it. Now fuck you all you want my life. The problem is us. They're in school. Where are you more programmed and miseducated in school? What if Southerners had to teach true history? Right. What if Northerners had to learn true history? What if every white child in this nation learned that the first person to die on the behalf of the American Revolution was a black man named Crispus Attucks? What if every white child in this nation, even in an all-white county, potentially could go to a Frederick Douglass High School? Well, why would you want that, Mike? were the most photographed person in the 19th century. Meaning the most influential or most Barack Obama-like person you've been in the 19th century was a man named Frederick Douglass. But because they only get to be given heroes by you because there's systematic racism, right? There's a system in place to make sure you're never worshipped like gods or goddesses unless you're an athlete or you're a singer, because they can always dispel or find a new one in the next 4 years. But if intellectually we understood the importance of Booker T. Washington and W.B. Du Bois in white and black schools at the same time, then imagine how different the education system, imagine how different the human being you grow. I tell people all the time, if kindergartners had to clean up their class before they left, you would see cleaner classroom campuses by the time you got 7th grade.
Come on.
Because the child would have to come in and clean up what they left yesterday, or start with a fresh desk, But before they left, they would have to clean up. So the school would truly be theirs and not just a box that holds them. At my old high school, we used to be magnet in science, and we produced a lot of great people, mathematicians. Right. But right now, my old art teacher, who's a food activist and teaching me to garden and grow, he said right now there's enough space at that school where we could turn that whole school into a school of, say, magnet with horticulture. Well, what's the next wave of things that's going to happen in America after this pandemic? People going to stay home more. People going to grow little bitty pots and pans in their windowsills. Then they're going to go to bigger boxes. Then they're going to have it in their yards. You're going to see a return to a lot of simpler stuff. People are going to build their own decks. If you have a high school producing minds like this, mechanical, different, woodworking, which we had when I was there, autobonics, aviation mechanics, which were also in Atlanta Public School, automotive or aviation mechanics, then you start to produce a whole human being. That human being can go on to college and get higher learning and learn about other things. And that student also can make money and not be suffering while that happens. So that's what we have the opportunity to do. We've done it before in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Why don't we do that again and take more standardized testing out of school? We need a standardized testing. We need to make sure that and all of a sudden, all the standardized testing got wiped away this year. Yeah. Kids are online and kids are going outside and they have recreation again this year. So, don't stop saying what we can't do because you're only saying what politicians are telling you. Gains and aspirations. Now, you might not have learned it the first person to do. We've done it before.
Right. That's what they need to know.
I know you get caught up in personalities, and I know we get. Hey, man, you know how easy it'll be for some marketing group to say riding with or stomping for. But that's not what I'm doing. Right. I'm saying go to those campaigns, look at what their policies are, and mark off what affects your life in a positive way tomorrow.
Okay, what's affecting yours?
What's affecting my life?
Right now.
Right now?
If you had to go to the voting poll with the candidates on the table, people want to know what you would do.
We don't know who the candidates are on the table yet. We're assuming, but they haven't said that this is it. I don't know. For me, on a local level is more important than national now. Because the National Democratic Party has gutted and given me Bernie light on policy, and the Republicans have snatched Bernie's policy and are giving it to you now to bribe you for votes.
Yeah, but we can't do that mentality, not even just politics. That mentality we can't have in office, no matter what.
I'm saying I've lived under Ronald Reagan. My father lived under Nixon. Our great-grandparents lived under much more evil men. I am used to seeing evil men in power.
You're scaring me, Mike. What are you saying?
I'm not. I'm getting you to think.
No, I'm thinking when I asked Puff, what are we doing when I was at Revolt? I created this thing called Revolt to Vote, and I was ready to go ham sandwich against Trump.
If I was black people right now, I would go follow Senator Nina Turner.
I know, but see, there is
no but. There's no but behind it. Okay, Mike. It is a long process, Kenny. But
how long do we give the process before we lock down?
No. There is no lockdown. What there is an extended period of learning. At this point, national politics, I've seen a political campaign cripple its best opportunity to win. I mean, a political party. Right. I've seen another party that rallied against someone as a socialist use socialist policy in order to woo the vote. I told people that one Democratic Party is going to lose black men in particular to a Republican Party based on these things. And I'm not being unrealistic, Thrall alert. I'm letting you know what's happening, what the fallout
But that's
is about.
it, yo.
Come on, stop and listen. Stop and listen. Right after I say they're going to gut your party and steal your black men away from voting, a campaign gets dropped by a United States president with all black men on it, mocking the former president and literally inciting barbershop talk through the roof that this guy is the most amazing thing since sliced bread because they watch wrestling. Like, you got to understand the mentality of the people you fighting with. You're trying to go against the dirtiest, slickest, most evil players ever, and you trying to play the game fair and appeal to people's morality at a time where people feel like they might have to scavenge for toilet paper and meat. So what I'm saying is, look in the fucking mirror.
Right.
When people are telling me to be realistic, look in the mirror and start to say, nobody's coming to save me. Yeah. There's no Superman coming out of the sky. There's no bat light for you to turn on. What you have to do as Americans now is pick the policy that can best help your black ass right now. Black or poor or white, because if you're poor and white, you black too. And then take that same vigor that you cheer with national power. Oh, my guy's going to win. I think she's so pretty, she should be. And I think he used to. And take that local. And vote for your local prosecutor right now. If you're in Atlanta, if you're in Fulton County, we have a prosecutorial race going on. A progressive is going to be running against an incumbent who's been there for years. Right now, we have senators that are going to be elected. We have one of the most progressive mayors out in Clarkson who's going to be running statewide. Do you know that? Do you know who your goddamn public representative is right now?
Right.
Do you know who your school board is?
No, that's
like, no. Stop.
You're
because as we turn this shit to a hype session where we cheer for teams, and if you're not on my team, you're hurt my feelings. Fuck your team.
Yeah.
What is going to benefit you?
You know, I'm with
locally.
You're saying
go do the research, and this is not to you, this is to the audience.
Yeah.
Go to do the research. Black people, you can't start a conversation talking about education and educating children, and you won't go educate your goddamn self.
Right. And I agree.
What these white men are promising you. These things make sense, and these things don't. And it's that simple. I'm not here to be no goddamn blame for we picked him and he didn't win, Mike.
No.
I told you who to pick.
Don't listen to them, Mike.
No, I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to everybody on the other side of this. You are intelligent. You're as intelligent as any of these two niggas talking on the phone. So take your intelligent ass to their campaigns and make an intelligent decision. And guess what? No matter who wins or loses, as Americans and citizens, we run this motherfucking country.
Yeah.
We can determine policy. You can run for office. And we can start to do things like take big money out of politics and add small money to politics. And if none of that works, black folks, let me tell you what you can do. Like agents. You can put your money together. You can throw those $10 in a month to create $120, $220 million a year, and you can progress yourself.
Yeah.
But what you can't do is look to me and try to get me to pick your good guy, bad guy, so you have someone to play. You're going to do that on your own because I trust you to think.
Yeah, you're a superhero. Whether you want them to look to you or not, they will. And I love what you said about, it doesn't just start with this national race for president. This starts with your local, everything starts with your local, cities and states. Like knowing who and what and who put in power.
And look at Georgia right now. You have a governor.
I was about to get into that.
You have a governor that says, hey, man, everybody can go outside. Business got to run. And as a governor, he needs to turn $1 in his state.
Right.
So I understand why. And we have a mayor that says this affects us worse. Absolutely not. And so you make the choice. And Atlanta seems to be saying, you know what? We're going to go with a local municipality on this. Yeah. That's an intelligent voting base.
That was about to be my point to your statement. And I think because Keisha did that, that's showing you the power in the certain levels of law, right? The certain people in power in those, like, so you have mayor, you have governor, all the people you were just mentioning in your local, boroughs, sectors, whatever. But I think that's crucial. I think I know in my heart what'll happen for you down the line come November, and you had to choose the only options. And I get, and I don't want people to get confused with what you're saying as you're not going to. I don't know what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? But I know you're going to do the right thing. I know you're going to do what's good for you and your soul and heart. But everything you're saying, again, this is even my point to the conversation with Omarosa just now. I'm not judging you on nothing but who I know and what I know. In this entire live, you gave us jewelry, free game that we can use in our communities to make them whole. And being whole is the goal. So I appreciate that. And I wanted to get into the government thing, but you literally brought it up. That was my last.
No matter who you vote for, black people, on the other side of that, we can take care of ourselves. If we all do a little, we don't have to do a lot. And I don't care if you're Thomas Sowell or Walter E. Williams, or if you're Dr. John Henry Clark or Dr. Cornel West, we have the ability to take $10 a month, to put in a trust, to take care of our elders who fought this fight from the SCLC, NAACP, and Cobra, BLA, Black Panther Party. We have an opportunity to take care of ourselves, to take care of our brothers that deserve to be out of jail because they served far exceedingly long sentences. We have that ability. Yeah. So I don't care who you vote for. I care if you vote for policy, but I care more about us taking care of ourselves. I love you, Kenny. I appreciate you.
I love you too, brother. And I just continue, please, man. Find the platforms that you can be on weekly, man, because I just think the information is so necessary for our people, brother. I really do. And you're one of the pieces to the puzzle we can't do without.
Absolutely, man. Everybody, while you're at home, smoke a joint, man. 420. Love and respect.
Love you, boy. Yes, sir, man. One time for the Killer Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to do what he said exactly. Please use your brains. Please research. Please start on the local levels. Please do that before we get into this election. This election is very important. And like he said, we've survived worse times. We've survived worse presidents, worse conditions, the whole nine. Tomorrow, big surprise on Kenny Burns Show. Very, 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 very funny, man. Was playing.
This guy, I was do this and make it possible. And let's get it. I feel
accomplished right now. That
first, you take care of your elders. You make sure your mama room right. She cool.
Like there are black people that are allies that
stand that friendship. Because I think Hugh Hefner and Larry Flint, Douglas High School. Well, why would you want that, Mike? Well, the most photographed kids are online, and kids are going outside, and they have recreation again this year. You know? So, don't stop saying what we can't do, because you're only saying what politicians are telling you. And now that you see it can be different, get out there and make it different.
100%. And we all know your affection for Bernie Sanders. He is now not in the presidential race for 2020. Are you supporting Biden, and how important is it to vote in the presidency?
Policy. Who has the policy that affects me and my community in a positive way?
Right. But Mike, let me throw in there though, Mike. We have to be thoughtful about this. There is policy and politics the line blurs so much, right? I'm saying there's only one other option than the Republican option, because all of the loose independents and things of that nature, that shit gets murky. That shit is where we get lost and will lose to Trump. And I had said that to Omarosa before. I was like, wait, the only option is Biden if it's not Trump, correct?
Well, again, what you're telling me right now is to choose one personality over another. And that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to the voters...
No, but I don't want to confuse our people.
I'm not going to confuse our people. Okay. I'm going to get them to think.
Okay.
My job is not to tell you once the candidate that I supported, based on policy, is dropped out of the race. Don't look to me to say, don't think, children, do what I say. That's not my job.
Right.
My job is to get you to look and think whose policy is going to benefit me and my community in the most positive way. I made that decision. I followed and spoke on the behalf, just like I do local.
Right.
I did that with Keisha Lance Bottoms, who wanted to become mayor.
You did.
Before her, I did it with Senator Vincent Ford, who was running for mayor. And when he dropped out of the race, her policy lent itself to some of the policy that he had.
Right.
Therefore, I jumped on the policy. So what I'm going to tell black people is,
right. That's what they need to know.
I know you get caught up in personalities. And I know we get, hey man, you know how easy it'll be for some marketing group to say, riding with or
I don't know what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? But I know you're going to do the right thing. And I know you're going to do what's good for you and your soul and heart. But everything you're saying, again, this is even my point to the conversation with Omarosa just now. I'm not judging you on nothing but who I know and what I know. In this entire live, you gave us jewelry, free game that we can use in our communities to make them whole. And being whole is the goal. So I appreciate that. And I wanted to get in the government thing, but you literally brought it up as that was my last.
No matter who you vote for, black people, on the other side of that, we can take care of ourselves. If we all do a little, we don't have to do a lot. And I don't care if you're Thomas Sowell or Walter E. Williams, or if you're Dr. John Henry Clark or Dr. Cornel West, we have the ability to take $10 a month, to put in a trust, to take care of our elders who fought this fight from the SCLC, NAACP, and Cobra, BLA, Black Panther Party. We have an opportunity to take care of ourselves, to take care of our brothers that deserve to be out of jail because they served far exceedingly long sentences.
Crazy.
We have that ability. So I don't care who you vote for. I care if you vote for policy, but I care more about us taking care of ourselves. I love you, Kenny. I appreciate you.
I love you too, brother. And I want to say this, man. Continue, please, man. Find the platforms that you can be on weekly, man, because I just think the information is so necessary for our people, brother. I really do. And you're one of the pieces to the puzzle we can't do without.
Absolutely, man. Everybody, while you're at home, smoke a joint, man. 420. Love and respect.
Love you, boy. Yes, sir, man. One time for the Killer Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to do what he said exactly. Please use your brains. Please research. Please start on the local levels. Please do that before we get into this election. This election is very important. And like he said, we've survived worse times. We've survived worse presidents, worse conditions, the whole nine. Tomorrow, big surprise on Kenny Burns Show. Very, 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 very funny man. And then another legend. I'm going to leave it there. It's Wingstop Wednesdays, but we used to live in Pepper, you know what I'm talking about, with, you know what I mean, with the sauce and the dream is real. I love you. Be safe and be thoughtful. Peace.